Hello everyone, how are you all? And today marks the third day after the world champion victory of Gukesh, and we are so proud of him. Also, with that, we have a very special person joining us today who is known for his remarkable journey as a player, as a coach, who wears multiple hats on his head, and has also worked with biggest names in chess, including our superstar Gukesh Domiraju. Hello, sir.
Hello, Tina. Yeah, thanks for having me. I'm also extremely proud of what Gukesh has done, and I'm very happy to have a front row and second row seat to it. Very happy.
Absolutely, sir. Congratulations, first of all.
Thank you so much.
Also, to all our viewers, to the audience, there are some very special surprises at the end of this discussion of World Championships. So, stick around till the end of the stream. Okay. So, first of all, sir, Gukesh has become the world champion. So,
Yeah.
how does it feel having witnessed his journey from his childhood?
No, it's remarkable, really, because he is an example of what simple dedication and discipline and using the opportunities. Uh, he's a great example of that. I mean, I remember that same 10-year-old phase and with the same ambition. And to be consistently disciplined for so many years, I've not been, I would say, I mean, for sure, I was not that disciplined, and I've not seen anyone be so disciplined, so consistently, and to control your emotions and train consistently for so long. Yeah, definitely remarkable. And yeah, nobody really expects you to win the candidates on the first attempt, and nobody expects
Yes.
you to win the world champions for the first attempt. Yeah, but he has done it, and that's brilliant.
But you said he was very ambitious, yeah, the 10-year-old Gukesh. So, as a coach, what was your reaction when, you knew his ambitions? Was it too early, or did you think that, yes, he has the potential? How was it at that moment?
No, I definitely knew he had a potential. I mean, and I wanted to fuel that ambition mainly because there was not no convincing this guy of anything else. And yeah, so the best thing I thought I could do was fuel it and try to make him think as big as possible, right? So make his ambition as wild as possible and yeah, as crazy as possible. And yeah, I mean, still, this is even beyond my own expectations and
Mhm.
dreams.
Absolutely. And we can see the result today, yeah?
Yeah, we pursued the youngest grandmaster title, right? So very actively when we just started working, and you know, I always advised him not to go after these targets and always dream very big. And yeah, I mean, this is the absolute thing, right? So this is the boss level or whatever they say.
Yes.
And yeah, I mean, see, I mean, I always believed that he would be a top player, and but to become the world champion, they say that 1,000 things have to go right.
Hmm. Yeah.
There are so many chess players who are strong enough to be world champion but never became world champion. And yeah, so I'm very happy actually. This is what he has dreamed of all his life. So I'm happy that he's got it.
Yeah, the mantra that we have learned from you, from Gukesh, both of you, is dream big.
Absolutely. If you
Yeah.
have a dream, you better dream big, actually.
Mhm. But sir, can you tell us the background? What goes into being a world champion? What goes around? Because we have seen all the moments, the happiness, the emotions, but we have no idea what happened in the background.
Absolutely. I mean, it would be like, you know, moving your life or constructing your life in a way which is aligning with your goals, right? So
Hmm.
you can even say Gukesh audited his life, and took away everything that did not align with his goal of becoming the world champion. And doing it for many years and doing it consistently, irrespective of,
Consistently.
yeah.
Yeah.
irrespective of when things don't go here. So, I mean, from the outside point of view, I would say that there were no ups and downs. It would look like it was all smooth, but
Yeah.
um, there were many moments of crisis and many moments of poor form. And
Mm.
the reason he has risen so quickly and the reason he has improved so quickly is because he reacted well to these bad moments, I would say. And he did not change his training regimen. Irrespective of whether he was doing well or he was doing poorly in the tournament, he still was training the same 10, 12 hours. He was still doing his meditation routines. He was just doing his physical training, irrespective of the if the previous tournament went well or not. So there were a lot of moments of crisis, actually. I mean, now as I look back,
Yeah.
and things could have gone anyway, actually. I mean, imagine that, if a person is, this is all that he's thinking about. And yeah, disappointments are not easy to handle in such situations.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I personally have been watching all the emotions, all the, clips and everything on social media. But I was just wondering that all the hard work has just paid off. Yeah. The coaches, the, players and all the trainers, the seconds, everyone's, it's just paid off.
Yeah, I mean, whatever they've done, right? So, I mean, I used to work with Gregos for a few years when I
Mm-hmm.
was playing actively. And, the amount of hard work cannot be understated, actually, right? So it is just so much work. And, even with so much work, it's never so clear, right? So, I mean, thing collapsed at the last moment, but it was never so clear, right?
Yeah.
So,
Very unexpected.
yeah, you still have you do so much work and you pay attention to so many details. Like
Yeah.
Gage has built his team and Westbridge has helped him with that. Like uh, Gajewski is his main trainer now, and Paddy, bringing in Paddy Upton at the last moment for the match, right? So he's been working with Paddy for the last 6 months, and Westbridge has been with him for a while. And I mean, I can even imagine with the work we put in. We used to sit at one position for 6 hours, and
Wow.
yeah, and he would not budge till he had solved it. It was yeah, he would just keep thinking about it.
Yeah, I
And
think this is one quality we all need to learn from him.
yeah, I mean, doing what the majority don't do, right? So that's a very key element if you want to really have success.
Yeah.
Uh, Doing what the majority is uncomfortable with doing what the majority is, finding it hard to do, or they don't have the discipline to do it, right? So that's what is a key differential. I mean, and Gukesh, despite the teams and all that, Gukesh himself works extremely, extremely hard.
Yeah.
And another point to note is that during COVID, right? So how did he spend his time? There was no tournament in sight, nothing to do, but still he was training very actively and hoping for a tournament, basically. Yeah.
Yeah. But sir, you have known him from childhood, from his childhood. So can you tell us the journey? How did it all begin? How did you meet Gukesh? How did Gukesh approach you? How was it?
So I had done a training camp for the students of Velaman School, right? So Mr. Velaman, he had invited a few of his students to come to my place to train a bit because I was just starting to uh, train more actively at that point, and he thought I would be a good fit. And Gukesh was one of the students of this
Wow.
training camp. And yeah,
Amazing, sir.
yeah. And so he liked what I was teaching at that. Um, he liked my teaching methods and my teaching techniques. So after the camp, a week or so later, he and his father approached me for personal training, and that's where it all began. Yeah.
Amazing. And during those training days, was there any particular moment that you thought that, stood out for him that his development graph is going to raise over?
No, immediately I saw that he was very talented and very focused and also very mature for his age, clearly. right?
Yeah.
So um, all these things stood out to me right at the beginning, actually. So
So when you say immediately, that is the 10-year-old Gukesh?
yeah, um, during the first training camp itself, he would be like very, very focused during class, and during the breaks, he would be much more relaxed. You can say
Yeah.
there were two different kids.
Yeah.
Even,
But have you seen the naughty side of Gukesh as well?
yeah, I mean, definitely. He hides probably a little bit from me, but no, I've seen everything about it. Yeah.
Amazing. So, sir, when you said that, immediately you saw that there is immense potential in him. So, for you personally, how was it to guide a player like him at such a young age? Was he the first one among those potentials?
I had the pressure of privilege of working with many young kids at that point. I also started working with Leon Mendonca, who's in the top 100 now. And I briefly worked with, I worked with some people who have become WGM, Varshini, and a lot of other young boys. And it was incredible. We had a lot of group and individual sessions, and group, they kept challenging each other, and individual, I got a lot at that point. I had a great bunch. I still do, but yeah,
Yes.
it was incredible to train them. Yeah.
Yeah. So, you started off those days with as a trainer very strongly, and currently you're, managing your responsibilities with time and balancing everything so well. You are the chief chess officer at Circle Chess. You are the head coach in Hudson Chess Academy, founder of the Madras School of Chess, and also, as you mentioned, that you're training professional chess players more often. So, how do you manage your time, sir?
I don't know. Mostly not so well, I would say. But I've taken up these roles in with each specific goal in mind, right? So I just saw a problem and I tried to go ahead and solve it, right? So that was my thinking. I did not really probably predict that would I have enough time for each of these things. But I try to, yeah, make. And there's a lot of people, other people involved who are also doing um, what each program requires, right? So circle chess, I to me that it was building Kaiser was uh, something of, I thought it was a big necessity compared to um, the coaching ecosystem, right? So I thought it could be greatly improved, and there weren't enough tools for a person to train by himself, and also for a coach to speed up his training. And a lot of things had to be done manually, and you could never do it without a big team or something. So um, yeah, I joined mainly through Kaisa, my role in Kaisa. But yeah, we are building some great things, and I think that coaches can, only because of the support of the company. And I saw that how serious they were, and also saw that something that they can really rely on. And Madras School of Chess, I moved GM Vishnu's, my chess club, GM Vishnu's chess club, to Madras School of Chess, promote grassroots, to give a platform for beginners and early education. That was my goal. Time is, yeah, always scarce, and definitely, you know, I would really like more time, but yeah, it is what it is.
Absolutely. So, before going to the next question, I'll just check the chat if there is
Yeah,
anything.
sure.
Okay. So if you have anything to ask, we can check from the chat. So if there's any questions, you all can put it in the chats. Yeah, going ahead with the next question. There was one question from social media that how might have Bukesh prepared for the tie breaks for the World Championship?
Um, so mainly through a lot of speed chess training, I think. And I mean, he's been training throughout the 6 months, even in shorter time controls, I believe. And I mean, I don't think the tie breaks also were pretty even. I think it would have been anybody's match.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, Gukesh, he's not played Rapid and Blitz for a while, if you can see, but he's been training in Rapid and Blitz. So people kind of don't know how he will actually play. Actually, I mean, I'm sure there would be some kind of jump over his
Hmm.
previous play, and yeah,
But how is it for you, sir? Because at that moment, anything could happen. So, how was
he was
your
in.
emotions and, were you able to sink in what's happening? How was it?
No, I was tense definitely. I mean, especially after the 12th game. I mean, I thought it was, see, good days and bad days are possible in chess actually, but he did not fully play to his level on the 12th game. He was very hesitant and so on. And I was a little concerned about that. And after that, tie breaks, I thought, I was hoping he would handle himself. I mean, honestly, um, Gukesh has a tendency to surprise, whenever you underestimate him. It's the same with candidates also, right? So nobody really expected him to win candidates. He was not a favorite, or he was not even considered close to a favorite. But he showed up at the right moment, and he has that tendency. And I was hoping, I was just tense, a little tense, but I was hoping things would go his way.
Yeah. You mentioned about candidates. There was one interview where you had mentioned that his game against Firuza, you actually felt nerves for the first time of, watching any game. So, during this World Championship, was there any game where actually the same thing happened, or you still feel that game wins over for your feeling your nerves?
Definitely, I had more nerves in this some moments of this match.
Yes.
Um, Even the first game, I was not happy that he went G4. I mean, I think it was his preparation and all, but somehow I was a bit edgy looking at the approach there. And definitely, game 12 also was not. Um, I mean, slowly you could see that he was drifting away. He did not fully know what he was doing at that point, because he knew he was playing suboptimally, but
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah. I mean,
So
there
after,
were a few
yeah,
moments of tension, but also there was another tense moment I remember now, is that where he was an exchange down and he refused a draw.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
that happened multiple times though, where he,
yeah, I thought, that was great, but also tense. I thought it was great. I thought it was like, I mean, what more do you need in terms of spirit? But still, it was a bit tense for me.
yeah. And after winning candidates, what piece of advice did you give to Gukesh for the World Championship?
So mainly not to underestimate Dingliran. And, if a guy is going to find his form at any point, it's going to be in the World Championship, because nothing can be more motivating for a player, right? To show up.
Yeah,
I think Ding was at 100% here actually. But even otherwise, you could see that, especially game 12 and game 1, you can see that he was doing extremely well, right? So, yeah, just to make, not to underestimate it, and also to be prepared for the tension actually. I mean, I told him that he would experience a pressure or tension that he has never experienced before. And there's no way to recreate that before you go there. I mean, there's no way
yeah,
to recreate that. So, be ready to absorb that tension. Don't be surprised when you feel that pressure. You know, don't be expect it, and don't be surprised that when you feel it, and just, think of something to deal with it.
yeah. And it's so nice to see that, along with being a chess coach, you've also inculcated many good qualities for him and many other players. Yeah. So we can also define you as a life coach.
I've not done that for anybody, but I believe in the player as much as the techniques I teach, I think. So I, personal coaching, I work with the player only. Like, I want to uh, creating a player means to create a person with certain mindsets and habits and tendencies, right? So definitely, I talk a lot of things outside of chess also. What is required from them and what does it mean to be a strong player? Yeah,
Yeah,
undoubtedly.
absolutely. And sir, in today's modern era with rapid growth in technology, chess engines coming in every day, different technologies coming in every day. So AI has also played an important role in training as well as, for the coach as well. So how important do you think it is for chess?
No, I see AI as a tool to speed things up, speed accuracy, and it gives a different perspective to what um, um, we are prejudiced to certain things and certain rules of chess, and AI gives you kind of a opportunity to break those rules or at least consider breaking them, right? So um, that's what I see as meaning. I mean, a lot of things can be sped up, right? So as a coach also, it's not just I want to work with you for improvement, but what is the fastest way that you can
Yeah,
improve, right? So that's what the student also is looking from me, not just to improve. You can do the keep doing the basic things. You can just study, keep studying, just doing things, and
yeah,
you will still improve. But yeah, so what is the fastest way to? That's where a coach comes in to make those minor modifications for you, to point out the right things for you. What will suit you at the right moment. So I see AI becoming useful in these situations as
yeah.
well, to speed up for the coach also, to if you're working with a bunch of kids, it's a better way to,
Automate things.
yeah, better way to have a full understanding of a lot of your students very quickly, and instead of just going through them one by one. Yeah.
Yeah. And talking about engines, we know that Gukesh is famously known for not using engines during his early phase of his chess career. So, what do you have to say about that? Was it something that you as a trainer also was supporting?
Yeah, it was just a experimental idea where I thought he could have the same mentality of an actual game, right? So I believe that in an actual game, you're not completely certain of anything. There's a small amount of uncertainty you have to deal with when you make a decision, right? So I wanted to recreate that scenario as much as possible in training as well as when he's working alone. So that was my main reasoning behind um, asking him not to use engines, actually. So you're always uncertain, right? So there's a small amount of uncertainty. You have to make decisions with that small amount of incomplete information. So the computer gives you the complete information, and in a game you have to make decisions with incomplete information, right? So I
Yeah.
wanted to become a decision maker with incomplete information. So that was the
Yeah.
logic behind the whole not using engines. And I recommend to a few people. One or two might have tried it a bit, but yeah, he was the one who was. That's the thing about Gukesh, there's no
He
logic.
takes in.
Yeah, there's no logic to. I mean, it was a purely what do I say? Uh, First time experiment. I think in the modern times nobody else has done it, and there was no reason for him to trust me except that's how Gukesh operated actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We love the equation between you and him. Molding
yeah.
his foundation, any player's molding any player's foundation is super important for a coach. So I think you have done a great job with that, sir.
Thanks, thanks. I mean, I still share a very close relationship with him, and
Yes.
um, still very close with him. And
Yeah.
his parents have done a great job. I mean, there's no, I mean, the whole world has seen it now, how well behaved he is actually, and that is probably the best part about him.
So are you still mentoring him with advices and other suggestions?
Yeah, I mean, he will come to me whenever he wants to ask me something, and whenever he's stuck somewhere. But I mean, he has a whole team now to help him. But I'm his like safe space. I would say that we have known each other for, and we have discussed some absurd things in the past. So um, let's, I mean, we've discussed everything from quantum physics or
From day one, everything,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So what we have discussed, like a lot of things which are not just related.
Which is.
And, yeah, so he still met. We met before the match, like before he left to Singapore. But I like, I mean, I just try to listen to him and give little and little advice because
Yes.
probably knows what he's doing, and yeah.
Yeah. And with this, there was a question from social media that would you still recommend, the same not using engines experiment to other kids who are starting today?
Um, Generally, reducing the use of engines is advisable. I mean, I was, working with him very closely, and so it was easier for him to do the right things, I think, when he was not using engines. If you have somebody to assist you with that, it would be a good thing. I don't see engines as a bad thing, particularly, actually. So I do a lot of training with engines now, actually. So, um, I mean, I don't really think of it as a good or a bad thing. It's just learning to how to use, actually. I mean,
Mm.
definitely there is a role for engines, undeniably, I think. And yeah, in the competitive space, if you want to, I would never call it a necessity, but I mean, till a certain point, doesn't matter actually. Till a certain point, you're okay. So it's the level of play is still fine. But yeah, all of his colleagues who are at least as strong as him um, are have all grown up with engines, I think. So yeah, I thought it was a so you have to do some kind of unique training to develop a unique perspective.
Yeah.
So that was my idea for him. But if you work with engines, you have to find some other way to find your niche approach.
But would it have been possible for him to reach at this level without using engines even further?
There's no need to test that theory, I think. I mean, yeah, I mean, you have to be practical at some point. So
Yeah.
he had a lot of belief in the approach till a certain point, and some point he said he lost belief, right? So he said that he did not believe that was possible. So that was during COVID actually, and so immediately I said start using, right? So you should not practice anything that you don't fully believe.
Yeah.
So it's very hard to test it. I don't think anybody else is going to repeat it at this stage. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we will never know.
Awesome. And sir, as I mentioned that you're wearing, multiple hats on your head, and we've also seen you very visionary with your roles. So how did you develop these qualities?
Yeah, I mean, through certain crisis in my playing years, and yeah, I mean, 2017 was my breakthrough year in exploration of these ideas, actually. So I became a grandmaster in 2013. I was also very obsessed with chess and not concerned about anything else. In 2013, I became a grandmaster, but at that point, I did not know how to progress after that, right? So, um, 2017, I traveled with Adiban to Vacancy, right? So the Wimbledon of chess. And there I was the second. He was being trained by Vishweshwaran and I think and Ubilava. And Mr. Obilava was, a giant in chess coaching. Um, he had worked with Karpo and everything. So I was a second there, and you know, what I experienced there was very different actually. I mean, I had a certain understanding of chess, and I had a certain understanding of how things could be. And what I did there was very different from that. So, I, Adiban almost bet Magnus by playing the Scandinavian, right? So, and throughout my life, the advice I've heard was that don't do it, don't play the
Hmm.
Scandinavian. So he played the King's Gambit against Sovis and almost bet him. And he finished second in this super strong event, super difficult event. And I was like, there is something wrong with what has been taught to me, right? So conventionally, what has been
Hmm.
taught to me is does not make sense.
Hmm.
So in March of 2017, I accidentally met my mentor now, Mr. Srikanth. He's a former BPCL employee and chess player. He must be around rated 2000, I think. And yeah, he taught me everything I know now, actually. So
Wow.
taught me to really think and question things. And yeah, that's where it all started for me with my discussions with him. And yeah, I mean, everything I understood, I kind of abandoned and tried to start fresh.
Not so surprisingly, these qualities have been inculcated to Gukesh as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's necessary to be very original to be very good, I think. I mean,
Yeah.
early on, we discussed being unpredictable, actually. That was one of our goals too. Your opponent should not understand why you are doing something, not just the moves, but also like why do you choose this opening or why do you choose this setup.
Yeah.
So the more unpredictable you are, then that's a good sign. And yeah, he has developed his own thing. Gukesh, most people don't understand how Gukesh makes his decisions. No,
Yeah.
you can see interviews and also
Super unique. Yeah.
yeah. So that has been developed by contemplating over a lot of ideas, right? So and understanding himself, self-awareness, and so on.
And talking about unpredictability, something that we observed was, the opening surprises. I wanted to ask that how do players control their emotions because they're out of prep at that moment and they know that they're going to take some time. So, how is that feeling?
No, here he was doing extremely well. I mean, when we
Yeah,
stopped working very actively in 2022, um, it was his openings were his weakest part actually, and now almost in every game he has some new idea which he's able to show before his opponent, right? So,
yeah,
I mean, the credit to that goes to his trainer now, Mr. Gavsky, right? So, Gregor Gavsky. So he was always an expert. I mean, he was Vishy Anand second for a while, and yeah, so they worked a lot on openings, and they've taken an approach where they're able to surprise the opponent very early. And yeah, I
yes,
mean, right now, almost in every game, he probably, he was, usually the match went like Dingler was thinking for a very long time
yes.
and then fighting on and so on. But yeah, these kinds of things took he's been working on them for 2 years and now he's improved. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's improved a
And
lot.
yeah. And when we talk about these qualities inculcated to Gukesh, what do you think at this moment in today's state, what matters the which is the most essential, which plays an essential role in the budding kids who want to play chess and want to become a grandmaster at, less than 15 years of age?
No, you have to, like I said initially, you have to like work on your overall things, not just the chess part, because you need some maturity and emotional. Chess is like a game where you'll suffer some emotional blows,
Yeah.
right? So, and you play a lot of games in an event. and you have to, even when you have a bad day, you're supposed to show up the next day. You cannot get knocked out.
Yeah.
People don't pay enough attention to the non-just emotional things, developing emotional regulation, mental strength, and physical. Usually kids are, and the impact of physical activity in mental strength, actually. I mean, I've read a lot about, and this just for the sake of coach. I'm not an expert or anything, but being very physically active also helps you with your mental outcomes, right? So
Yeah.
you cannot separate the two. So spend a lot of time in chess, especially now. India will be the most competitive place to play chess, and you will have a lot of competition locally. So
Yeah.
you have to spend a lot of time studying chess, but also pay equal attention to the physical and mental aspects of your chess, of your play and your decision making and overall emotions.
When you say that, India would be very competitive with chess, more competitive now on. So, how do you see Gukesh's achievements influencing the future of Indian chess?
No, there's going to be a huge. I mean, everybody starts. You need. Gukesh is going to be a relatable hero for the next generation, right? So
Yeah.
very young and very humble, and um, every generation needs a hero, right? So he started because of Vichy Magnus in 2013. I
Yeah.
started because of Vichy in 2000. And
Wow.
Vichy has been making heroes for a long time, but Gukesh,
Now, someone would start with Gukesh versus you.
absolutely. I always told him, the best way to promote chess is to become world champion, right?
Yeah.
So, you have to. So, the way we had those discussions couple of times about how can make more people play chess, and I told him like whatever I do will not matter. Like I was talking in reference to Vichy, the Vichy will always create more players than anyone else,
Mm.
right? So whatever work, whatever you do, it doesn't matter. Vichy will be the main guy. So I told him like if you want to have the biggest impact, you should just become world champion.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's the best way to influence.
And he
Um,
has done that, yeah.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Before we go to the next question, I'll just check if there is any chat. So someone, Manor Acharya, he says that congrats GM Vishnu Prasanna. As a coach and mentor, you deserve a lot of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
The best moment for a mentor is when his disciple excels and becomes world champion. You groomed him to become so.
Yeah.
And many others are also sending in congratulations to you.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Definitely, I'm very happy actually. So, I mean, whatever he has done is like hard to imagine actually. Even when I was playing as a player when I was young, to imagine to do this was very hard. I mean, to imagine
Yeah.
this as 18 is incredible. Hard to beat this record, I think.
Coming back to chess and the chess qualities, there is a conception that every chess player is almost obsessed with openings. So how important it is for chess players to study openings below rated 2000, let's say.
It should not be so important. See,
Okay.
plating openings give you the feeling that you have studied something actually. That is why most people do it, I think. You're not sure how to work on the middle game, and you're not sure how to work on the end game, and you get and even when you work on middle game and end game, you do not know if it has impacted your play. You're not sure if you have progress. It doesn't give you that feeling actually. But finishing a few chapters in opening feels like you've actually studied something.
Yeah.
Feels like you actually completed something, and people confuse that with progress. So below 2000, you know it is not really required. I think. I mean, you always, in my work with Gukesh also, I told him like you have to choose what weaknesses you want to play with, right? So we never thought about eliminating. I told him like you can never eliminate all your weaknesses. You have to choose your weaknesses.
Hmm.
So that's what training is about. Not eliminating your weaknesses, but choosing uh,
Yeah.
what to do. So the last weakness we try to eliminate is the opening actually. So
Oh,
even when he was close to 2700, definitely his openings were not that strong. He spent much less time on openings, but yeah. So definitely at below 2000, you have to improve a lot of things based on skill, just understanding, and also yeah, there's a lot to learn in the middle game and game and just practical play. And there's um, I mean, openings give a false sense of progress, I think. So I do not think that there's really necessary to do so much opening at that stage.
got it. And sir, with Hatson Chess Academy that you mentioned, I've also seen your wife, Mrs. Raghavi, who's also involved with it, and you know, she herself is a WIM and
Yeah.
involved with chess as well. So, how do you both support each other with balancing all the duties?
No, she's involved with Madras School of Chess.
Madras School of Chess,
Yeah.
yes,
So this was mainly her idea to, do something for the grassroots and to bring, to teach chess to people who do not really know what is chess, right? So we want more chess players, and this is a small way that we are trying to bring in more chess players, basically. So she wanted to be involved with chess. She's a laryngologist now. She doesn't play or train, but this is a way of being involved with chess.
with chess, yeah,
So yeah, that's the main goal, Madras coaches, to build chess at the grassroots level and kind of also, the culture of Madras, chess culture of Madras. We are trying to create something around that.
absolutely.
I would not say we support each other so well in chess, but I mean, I support her in medicine and she supports me in my chess. Yeah. In we've not done so well.
And I've also seen some, very beautiful designs and posters which she had designed of the world champions and everyone. So when are we expecting Gokesh's photo there?
Very soon. She'll be on very soon. I think we have a huge list of world champions from
Yes,
Phoenix to Dingliren. So Gukesh's name has to be added to that. And yeah, something will be done for Gukesh. All the designs were done by her. I mean, she was the one who's very
it's
meticulous.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah. And yeah, Gukesh, there's one photo of me and Gukesh here, but yeah, we'll have to add something more for sure.
lovely. And also in an interview, I read that I think Raghavi herself had written that, she jokingly mentioned that chess is your first wife and she is your second. So how does this passion of chess, has influenced your overall journey? It's just incredible how passionate we are all.
Um, I don't know how long ago was
Have
it.
you seen that where she
No,
mentioned?
no, I've not seen it. So, I mean, I used to be a bit more obsessed with chess, honestly. And since I had a kid, probably it's come down a bit. But yeah, definitely during the early years, I was also very focused, hyper focused on chess mostly. And I mean, yeah, I agree. I would have to agree with her for the early years.
So, coming back to the World Championship, um, what were the first words you told to Gukesh after he won the World Championship?
I just told superb, congratulations. I mean, um, yeah, I mean, Tamil, I was speaking with them. So I just said, you've done something incredible.
Yeah.
Congratulations. And he was, a little less emotional when he was speaking to me. It was a while after everything, and so he had settled down a bit. But yeah, definitely he was like very happy. But he had a lot of adrenaline still at the time.
Yeah, mixed emotions. Yeah.
Yeah. So he said, "I will just try to rest." No,
Yeah.
he said he had felt an incredible amount of pressure, right?
During the last match,
No, throughout the whole match.
throughout the match.
Yeah, yeah. So it was a different
Yeah, it's
experience.
just, yeah. That's what I was mentioning, that when we see, everything, it seems so smooth, but at the background, we have no idea what,
Yeah,
the players are going through.
yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah.
it's crazy actually. I mean, definitely there's nothing simple about what he's done. And probably, it's hard to explain fully
Explain in words. Yeah, absolutely.
that experience.
There was one question from social media. He asks that how has day-to-day behavioral changes, that Gukesh has adapted, helped him come out of a loss so quick? Basically, he's asking that how um, to come out of those setbacks and
Yeah.
come stronger.
Gukesh used to be pretty bad at that actually. He used to be pretty bad at recovering from losses. So if he had a loss, he would probably have another bad day and so on. But he did a lot of. I think meditation helps with emotional regulation. So people assume that meditation helps with focus, but I've never seen that actually. I've seen that it helps with emotional regulation. So he did the same kind of process for a few months, and I could see that he had gotten better actually. So some
Yeah,
kind of meditation or mental practice it will take a few months before you see change, but then after that it accumulates and keeps going, and then it will be really, yeah, very visible what it can do for you.
absolutely. And when we are talking about physical and mental health as well, we saw how Paddy has also played an important role. So everyone realizes that actually mental health is super important for sports players as well.
Yeah, I mean, you're going through a lot of things, right? So, and there's
Yeah,
no set way to process them. So both are. Uh, I feel that physical also tries to. It's a way of communicating to let out some stress,
yeah,
communicating to the body to let out some stress. Yeah, I mean, and what kind of, how do you prepare for these unexpected challenge? There's no playbook of
mm,
what is going to come or how do you react to something. There's no playbook to these things, but I mean, yeah, I mean, what can I say? Uh,
yeah,
to be good, you have to be like far-sighted, I think. You
mm,
have to be prepared for it much before you're required to perform it, right? So
absolutely. Yeah,
that's the only way. I mean, you don't really get so many second chances, I think.
yeah.
As maybe in a different thing, but the first chance is the best. You have to do it in the first chance.
Just do it. Yeah,
Yeah. Second chances, it's a bit uncertain, I would say.
yeah. And do you, remember or recall any memorable or funny moments with Cookish, which you would like to share with our audience?
Nothing so specific, but usually between the camps, we are usually joking around. We used to have a lot of fun in the early camps before COVID when they were all kids. There was a bunch of kids,
Yeah,
of adults also, like 18-year-olds, teenagers, and these 10-year-old kids.
yeah,
And we used to have a crazy amount of fun. So, I mean, um, these camps used to happen at my home, and Raghavi also used to join time to time. And yeah, very fun times. It was like a very happy, just a fun chess session, but yeah, we had very good times. And now I still
Yeah.
we still meet time, but he's all grown up now. But yeah, we still have a different thing.
Amazing. It's so nice to, having been balancing out, all the fun moments and actual chess moments during a training. It's very important, I think.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the best way to manage
Yeah.
the workload.
And I think you're the best person to answer this question that how is Gukesh then and how is Gukesh now? What is the ultimate difference you see in him?
I would not say, I mean, he's matured more and more. And overall, I don't see a lot of difference actually.
Mm,
A lot of his core qualities remain. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I don't think overall his core qualities have changed much. At least he behaves the same, at least with me, he behaves the same way. And I don't really see a lot of difference from the first time. And of course, he's talking about different things compared to a 10-year-old, but yeah,
Yeah.
we still have the same equation.
Amazing. So for all the audience and all the budding players, if you could mention five of your favorite chess books.
Wow. So the most important book for me was, I mean, it would be a slide separate. It's called Lasker's Manual of Chess, probably written in the 1920s. And another good book I would say is that Sorcerer's Apprentice by Bronstein. These are all personal books. I mean, yeah, personally impacted me. I don't know if they're the best books or how to measure them. I've liked Seven Deadly Chess Sins by Jonathan Rosen. And I think The Game Changer is also a very good book.
Yeah.
So I need one more. No, all of Kasparov's books, I would say. Kasparov versus Karpov or the My Great Predecessors. They've
Yeah.
all impacted me greatly. Yeah.
Yeah, this is one book in all our previous podcasts. Also, many of the players had mentioned this book.
Yeah.
Yeah, amazing.
Great predecessors. Yeah. I mean, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
yeah, a lot of analysis, a lot of um, information, which is very precise, given by a world champion, is probably gold, right? So, yeah.
yeah, amazing. Before we go ahead with, our surprise segments, one last question to you, sir. What is one piece of advice would you give to all the players and the parents, both?
I mean, I would say that you should teach your child to enjoy chess, and if you're the player, you should learn, find what you enjoy about chess and play it because it is a very long journey,
Yeah,
and you will never get anywhere you want if you're suffering throughout, right? So you'll have to experience the good and bad moments and try to find your own definition of enjoyment, right? So I mean, enjoyment doesn't mean just you can define what is enjoyment to you and have fun, right? So not to be so mm, up and down. So with parents, I would say that not to react to your children's results too much, whether they win or don't have a good day.
yeah,
You know, don't make every game into life or death, right? So have a long view of a career in chess or anything, even if it's not a career. It's always better to have the long and not treat every game as life or death.
amazing. I think these insightful words would be very helpful for all the players and parents. Thank you so much for sharing that, sir.
Thank
And
you.
your overall journey, it's so inspiring for us to actually know it closely from you. Before going ahead, we have a rapid fire questionnaire prepared for you. So you will have to answer them quickly.
I was not warned about this, but
Yes, that was a surprise for sir as well.
I'll try to do it.
Yes, they're easy questions. They might be a bit tricky, but okay. So the first question, what's the first word that comes to your mind when you think of Gukesh?
Champion.
Champion. Um, Complete chess engine theory or pure intuition?
Pure intuition.
B3 or E4?
E4.
Gukesh at 11 or Gukesh at 18? Who is more adorable and cute?
Ah, that's hard. Gukesh at 11.
11?
Yeah. Instagram would disagree with me, but that's what.
That's what you have been watching him from,
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
What is more difficult? Focusing on students' mindset and other mental awareness or chess skills?
Focusing on students' mindset, and
That's
that requires a lot of cooperation from both sides.
mm,
So a lot of trust and a lot of things like that. So that is always more difficult.
interesting. What's tougher, playing or coaching?
Playing is tougher, but also enjoyable. Yeah. Coaching will not be so difficult, I think.
One piece of advice for aspiring grandmasters. I think I've already done that, but if you can give it in one or two words.
Yeah, I would say that, have very big dreams so that you're not, you're not, you're easy. It's easy. It will be easier to attain the shorter goals.
Yeah,
Try to dream big as possible and have shorter goals so that they won't be, you won't be climbing an imaginary huge mountain. It will just be a hill, right? So, and also like try to plan very far ahead, have a long-term view in making your decisions.
I think this is interesting. Yeah, you need to dream big but have short-term goals.
Yeah, you need to have short-term goals. I mean, he wanted to be world champion, but he also wanted to be the youngest grandmaster, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And there was a conference after the youngest, when he became the youngest, second youngest grandmaster. There was a press conference, and you know, there was a discussion, and Vishy, everybody, I don't know. And they said, "What is his goals?" And he immediately said, "I want to become 2700 very soon." And even Vishy was joking about it. He doesn't want to sit down for a moment. So
Amazing. I think this is something what we all have to learn from Gukesh. Um, your proudest coach moment.
no, right now, I mean, there's no doubt about that. Nothing compares to him. Nothing comes close to him.
If not a chess player or coach, what would you have pursued?
Maybe something in science. Um, I do not have the academic brains for that, but or I would be running a business, I would say.
Wow,
Yeah.
nice. Your favorite chess opening.
Maybe E4. I mean, there's nothing like that, honestly, but
Mhm.
if I have to say one, I would say the Knight of maybe.
Describe your coaching style in one word.
It's like the Bruce Lee's approach only, the way of no way, actually. I mean, he discovered this martial art called Jeet Kune Do, where the martial art does not follow any set rules, right? So
Mm,
I would also describe my coaching the way of no way, right? So
yeah,
there's no rules, there's nothing set, and yeah, each player gets his own rules.
yeah. With this, I just have a question to ask that. So you will have to adapt yourself with different level of students, or your approach is the same for all.
No, I have to adapt. So it is very different for different levels.
Yeah,
So um, yeah, I teach a very wide level, but I definitely look at each player differently and yeah, adapt to them, adapt to what I say to them also. Yeah,
awesome. One thing you've learned from coaching Gukesh.
a lot of things. So one thing I would say is that going all in might not be a bad idea.
Yeah, we've all seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's what I saw actually. I mean I've seen that people either who are all in or people who are completely unbothered, they
Mm,
do well for some reason. And I mean it should it's all about your clarity. I think he never
yeah,
did not want to go all in. He was always ready to. He did not want to consider anything else actually. So yeah.
amazing. You mentioned your favorite five books, but if there's any one chess book you recommend every chess player must read, which one would that be?
No, I'll say what book I'll read again. Rasker's Manual of Chess. That's the book I would read any number of times.
Amazing. Yeah, so I think we've covered everything. I'll just go through the chat if there is anything I am missing right now. So there's one question. Congratulations, GM Vishnu. I have 1525 classic rating from one and single tournament I played till date 2 years ago. I'm afraid to play the next tournament. Should I try Blitz, Rapid, or Classical?
You should try Blitz and Rapid before you dive into Classical. But if you're afraid, it does not make sense. I mean, at this stage, anyway, your rating is bound to go up and down, right? So till you achieve a certain level, and again, it stabilizes and so on. So whenever you play Classical, you should be prepared for it to go down, so that at some other point it will go up, right? So I mean, I would say that focus on whether you're becoming a better player or not, and that is more indicative of um, where your rating will go in the future. So if you feel very rusty, I would say play rapid and then go to a classical unit.
Amazing. Thank you so much, sir, for all your insightful words. I think it would, make a lot of difference in everyone who is watching this right now. And for all the contributions you have made to our champion, Gukesh, it means a lot. Thank you so much for everything you have done, sir. Thank you
Thank,
for joining us today as well.
thank you so much, Jess, and yeah, thank you all for who tuned in, and thanks for having.
Thank you, sir. And yeah, with this, as we promised that we have a surprise at the end, so we will share you this Zoom call link in the chat. So for a few minutes, you all can, take this moment to congratulate Sir, congratulate Gukesh, and yeah, our moderator would send you the link in the chat. Yes. Anish, can you mute yourself? No problem. I will wait for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
um, so we'll wait for another minute. Um, all of you can join the Zoom link which we have provided in the chat. One moment. So everyone is joining in. Just another minute more.
Okay.
Oh, since this was a surprise, I think everyone is setting up things. Yeah. It's-
Sure, sure. We'll wait.
Yeah, in the meantime, both of you, you can, whoever has joined, can switch on your videos, take this moment, take this opportunity to celebrate this moment with, with all of us together. You can switch on your videos if you're comfortable. No problem, Ranjani. Yeah, does anyone want to speak anything? You can take this opportunity. Ranjani, Govind, Krishna, Gaurav, anyone?
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Sir, I'm 12 years old right now. I'm planning to go FIDE rating tournaments in the April month, and my dream is to become at least youngest female grandmaster. But
Okay.
right now, I don't have FIDE rating itself. Like
Okay.
how much hours and what are the books I should practice to get a good rating starting itself?
No, I would say that you should practice a lot of stuff as long as possible. 6 to 8 hours. I mean, depending on your goal, actually. I mean, more than any books, I would say you should try to play as much as possible, even online. And I mean, at least 70% of your training should be playing, I think. And play your game, analyze your game, and improve over it game by game. And yeah, that will give you good opportunities. So, there are a lot of tactics books. There are a lot of basic end game and middle game books like You Suppose series, and tactics books are there. So you can just refer to those also.
Yeah. Anyone else who wants to, take this moment to congratulate Sir Gukesh? Anyone else? We can just wrap up the discussion for today. Yeah. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us. And it's just wonderful to know the journey of Gukesh, know your journey as a whole. And as I mentioned, the equation between you both is commendable and would be remembered for, years. So thank you so much, sir.
Thank you, Tina, and thank you all for joining. Thank you.
Yes, thank you all for joining in, and everyone who joined in, tuned into this YouTube stream as well. Thank you all.